Did it take you by surprise?
By this point, no. It's funny that you asked that. I've spoken with a few different people at Netflix this morning, and they all asked me if I was surprised or shocked. And it's true that they've never done anything like this before. It represents a huge change for the business. It'll, if this deal gets through, and I know we may get there, it'll double in size pretty much as soon as they add all these folks. But Netflix has always been a company where they kind of never say never. They say they're not going to do something, and then they end up doing it. And it's been obvious over the course of the last 2 months, really since Greg's appearance at Screen Time, my confidence this would happen has increased bit by bit, including as people from Netflix told me that they were getting more and more serious about it.
Lucas, I think there's a lot of reporting to do here on Bloomberg Tech, especially for the audience members that are hearing about this deal for the first time. What is Netflix proposing to do with Warner Brothers Discovery? What does Warner Brothers Discovery plan to spin out? Because there's an element that they'll have to divest or start new companies of some things. And we're reporting that in this bidding process, Paramount came in with a $30 per share offer. So it sounds as if Netflix had a lower offer than Warner Brothers Discovery went with.
I'll take him in three, although I will say that the Warner offer, or the Paramount offer was not technically higher, but I'll get into it. So the process is Warner, assuming that this all continues as planned, Warner Brothers Discovery will spin off its cable networks, the CNN, TNT, TBSs of the world, sometime third quarter next year. They will then proceed with closing the sale of the rest of the business, which is the Warner Brothers Studio and HBO/HBO Max streaming, to Netflix. They expect that transaction will close in the next 12 to 18 months, so let's say sometime in 27. And then there will obviously be, regulatory approval and all that, which could also drag on for some time. Depends on when that enters the equation.
Right.
In terms of the value and all that, yes, Paramount offered $30 a share. Netflix was just shy of 28. But you have to remember that because Netflix is only buying 2/3 of the company, there is a value that is being applied to the business that will be spun off that you add on top of the Netflix bid. So a lot of whether the Netflix bid was more or less than Paramount depends on the value you assign to those cable networks. People who are really skeptical, and certainly folks I spoke with in the Paramount orbit, are like, those cable networks are worth nothing, maybe $1 a share, maybe $2. Warner Brothers may argue it's worth $4 or $5 a share, in which case the Netflix offer is actually higher.